example, you will be creating not just driving around, but you're going to script every cars and make them crashes in each other. So this is a tutorial I'm gonna use. This is a mini script right here. Alright, let's get into it. Can you see these buttons here? They are open. The open was only for the math here. Alright, that's okay. I'll show you an example of a progress. So we'll go on with an example of it. So now we'll go on with this. We go, here we are. So this is an example of what will be it look like. In fact, I'll teach you every block of it. So now, so right now we're going to use this. If you see this break triggers, it means that when you place someone and a car is running, it will break trigger until it stops. The camera part is only used to be inside or outside the vehicle, such as the outside means that you can place on a house, on the living things over there. The horn trigger is only for the horns, which is used to horn when the closest. The drop breaker is the special part because it makes every piece from the car destroy. So here's an example of a drop breaker. Here, this is a drop breaker here in front of your car. The same goes here too. The pad no is actually easier. The pad no, I guess. And yeah, so the pad nose is here, which is used to navigate the vehicle. For example, here's a mini Pierce here. The Pierce is gonna follow the pattern all the way until it reaches its destination here. So eventually if you want to stop, there's a big trigger here. So that's all simple. So the property trigger is to do something else, like when you want property, there must be actually able to be stuck the car. It's like the big trigger. So actually, here's a special part. It's actually called ragdoll. One example for ragdoll is actually like this. And if you don't know, this this one is actually used when you place a ragdoll, and you will see what kind of avatar it is. You can choose it as an animal. The sound trigger is actually the sound where they just stop. Like it's not the proper trigger, but triggers and the speed trigger is when it slows down to a different type of speed. For example, here's what an example of a speed trigger looks like. For example, a car is going to turn and you don't want to over speed limit. That's when you use the speed trigger. The turn trigger is actually when you use it, but it's almost same like the pattern but difficult. So eventually you have to put an angle here, right or left angle. Then you have to predict where the car, if the car is, then you have to predict if the which time the car will angle. So the line angle is number one. If you know how to use it, then you can try it because I'm not really good at it. So right now, I'll show you an example of how a car crash would really look like. This is an example of a joint trigger. This is a brake trigger, and here's the brake trigger too. The pedestrian will be wrapped out when one touches the car. Here a lorry will stop when the car because it doesn't have a jump trigger. So whenever it stops, it will just stop immediately. So just like a van too. The peers will actually follow the pattern all the way to there I have just shown earlier. Then they will just slow down, turn, and then will hit the brake trigger over here. I think so. Okay. An example of non-pattern is you can do long trip journeys like this SUV who just reaches meet this mini store. So right now the player is gonna turn, so here's how the turn. So this is the example of how a car crash would really look like. And yeah, and yeah, if you don't know, this is not a copy. This is actually a copy of it, but I'll show you the another one. We go to open and go to the tutorial and we open this. Right now we're in this grass place plate. So right now, if you want to place something else like this, for example, I'll show you how it would look. The first thing you would do is to give them here. The first lane here is to, and if you eventually you're gonna build a map here. So right now, if you're like some kind of creative guy, yes, you can. It's actually the best choice for you. So yeah, here we are. We're in this map now, and this script and each of the plot can only occupy 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, like this. And if you want to duplicate this, there's a special button here which like a team document. So when you duplicate, it's not just normal, but it will become duplicated. Right now, if you want to add another section, there will be another intersection like this here. For example, here is it. If you want to add an intersection, then it was like okay if you use this one. But for some reason, it's actually good too. So right now, I'm gonna add this to see. If you see this, they will be added. Actually, we don't want to mess this up, so let's just say if you want to add it here. Here we go. And yet, still for some reason, this map is kind of very glitchy. So yeah, if you just start using it, then it will just be turning up like this. Well, yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to another one. If you see a ramp here, it will be no problem because there's here we have a shape here. So right now I'm gonna use this quarter ramp because it's so perfect. Alright, rotate is here. The rotated button is like this arrow who's just curve. Right now we're here. We're gonna place this everywhere. So if you actually see a ramp, just don't worry. If you actually see a ramp like this, just you don't need to worry because this is the special part for you. And the long arrows here are only for the resizes. Eventually, if this happened to you, then and you cannot click this, you can and actually eventually if you cannot click this, you can just go in there and then you can click it. So this is how it will be looking like this. And whenever you can just duplicate, but for some reason I don't. But for some reason, yeah, you can just play. Let's go together. Duplicate this, and there we go. And if you actually see a gap like this, please look it because it's actually important to get the card climbing along. Now we continue like this. We still continue until the ramp has finally reached this. Naturally, it is okay if you just use this, but some reason I don't like this. It's just because it's just very high. And if you're not a creator, you're actually just lucky. I'm gonna remove. I'm gonna use another one for some reason because this is not just anyone else. Alright, this is not okay. And whenever the car turns, it will just be blocked by this whole thing here. So right now we duplicate. Then what's important is we need to use the rotate button here. Yet for some reason this here we go. So this is how you design a road lines. Whenever you have one like this, you can just create it. And yeah, mm, and yeah, please, if you add a lowercase, then you must use a different rank. Eventually, like this Miata and this Porsche, I think so, and this blue, which I've just tested, which I have no idea is gonna work, but it seems like it's a lower suspension. So anyway, we're gonna continue with the map later. You can keep building your own idea, and if you have problems, just use these communities and it will be solved. So right now, So right now, we need one more part. The all things here are we're gonna use this map. So this is how, and this is how a car actually looks like. Here we're in a refined map. You've learned these before, those unities over there and here. But there's actually one problem here and you cannot solve it. What happens if the one of the if the truck over there literally mixes with, instead of usually going to the bridges and instead of going there and then crashes in your car. It is actually a simple idea. So I got some problem as like this before. And here's an example. If you put a car in front of a trailer or a car carrier trailer, then it will just anchor itself. Just but and if you don't know how to connect those trailers here, like the truck over there too, it's the same. If you don't know, then there's a connect they call a connect button. So when you select one item, it will just automatically connect one if you pick this green button here. This is now kind of confusing. And this is a here, or truck here. If you actually want to this truck because I didn't use the joint breaker. The joint breaker, if we select the joint breaker on this car, the car will immediately get destroyed. For some reason, it will become messy, and sometimes with lower end device, if people who use lower end devices, it will lag too much. So if you don't know what map this is called, it's called the refined map. Eventually, you can just see in the last page of it. Alright, here you can see this. As you can see, the road is like this. If you want to do like this, then eventually your road must be like this before, but yeah, there must be a connect button, which I've never tried it before because I'm actually new here. The barrier here over there, then it will just jump over it and then it will crash into it. You see these yellow lines? They came out from this camera. So we'll preview again. This is how a car crash works. Some clear examples of a car crashes here. Here we go. Now this is some kind of a crash, which is actually, but not only, but you can copy these ideas. So right now, this time I'll be concluding the video here, and thanks for watching.